Yeah. Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's take a look at the first fight between Cotto and Margarito real quick. The highlights. Nigga Cotto's all pumped up and all serious, not knowing he's about to get his ass whipped. All right, round six. Okay, we jumped ahead. Cotto was dominating the whole fight, and you can see where things start to go wrong. This guy's going from rope to rope. Can't fight on the inside. Don't know what he's doing. Backs up to the ropes. Tie up, tie up. Nope. Back to the other side of the ropes. Goes backward, getting ready to go to the other side of the ropes. Siete. Ropes. Tie up. Tie up. Don't go back. Don't go back to the ropes. Okay, now it's time to clinch. Tie up. Going to the ropes. Other side of the ropes. Oh, come on. Tie up, man. Come on. There you go. A little bit late, you know. If you're going to tie up, do it before you get hit. Once. Roll with the punches, dog. Take a knee. One more punch and shit. Como me duele. Again, back to the ropes. No time yet. Except now he clinches. A little bit late for that. Modern boxing classic. Shut the fuck up, Cullen. What's happening, guys? Joe Clem 15 coming back at you again. Here to give you my Miguel Cotto Margarito rematch prediction. I find it interesting that these fighters keep on dropping Emmanuel Stewart, who's supposed to be the best pound for pound trainer in the world. You'd think that Cotto might stick with Stewart, being that he knows how to deal with a pressure fighter, whether he's fighting one or he's training one. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Emmanuel Stewart trained Margarito for a little bit, so I would think that having Emmanuel in your corner would be an advantage, but maybe not. We'll see. To start off this prediction, I'd like to go into what Cotto did wrong in their first fight. Excuse me, not fight. The primary thing is clinching. Cotto clinched like an amateur. At times he didn't clinch, and other times he clinched way too late. He clinched after he got hit with about 3 or 4 punches. When he did clinch, it was half-hearted. It was delayed. If you're gonna go in for the clinch, you go in for the clinch. It has to be automatic. You gotta wrap your man up. He went from rope to rope. It's clear that Cotto was outboxing him early, and Margarito was just following him around the ring, but Cotto was just he's just backing up under the ropes. And then after he would back up on the ropes, he'd go to the other side of the ropes. He didn't circle his man. It's called a ring for a reason. Circle your man. Use your footwork. Lastly, body shots. I mean, go to the body, Cotto. Um, this is kind of a hard criticism because when you're hitting somebody in the head so often, you kind of tend to neglect the body because I don't know, it's just a natural thing. I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. But if you're hitting somebody in the head at will, you tend to forget the body because you hit them in the face. Do 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 do. Uh, I think for the first 6 rounds, this is what Cotto was falling victim to. He was hitting Margarito with everything he wanted to, and so he forgot to go to the body. Because of this, Margarito has a great chin and was still strong as the fight went on. He still had the stamina, and he was still strong in the second half of the fight. Uh, so there was no investment made into the body so that Margarito would be worn down. Okay, now let me go to Margarito's. I'm going to go to Margarito's main faults in his fight against Pacquiao. Um, okay, he came out technically. Major mistake. A pressure fighter who's not skilled and relies on stamina and heart does not need to come out technical uh, against any fighter who's not like him, put it that way. Uh, he came out jabbing, putting his guard up, jabbing like he was Winky Wright or something like that. You're not going to beat anybody with any amount of skill that way if you're Antonio Margarito. Um, he doesn't cut off the ring. Um, Margarito just follows you around in circles. If you look at the Shane Mosley fight as well, all this guy does is follow you. He doesn't cut off the ring. He doesn't have any really good footwork. He just comes and throws a whole bunch of punches. And if you hit him, you hit him. And lastly, Antonio Margarito has no adjustment skills at all. Okay? He fights the same way every fight, and he fights the same way from round 1 to round 12. So those are the basic, uh, well, the most basic flaws. Okay, obviously no defense, but that's to be expected from his kind of a style. But those are the 3 things that stood out to me as far as his faults go. Um, so who am I gonna pick in this rematch? It took me a long time to figure this out and how I felt about it, but I'm gonna pick Cotto. I'm gonna pick Cotto by late round stoppage. If not the late round stoppage, then I think he's gonna get um, a competitive decision. Uh, I base this off the fact that I think things are going to be different this time. Um, for one, I can't see him looking back at the tape and not visually seeing the things that I saw in terms of not clinching, um, going from rope to rope and not using his footwork to dance around his man, and not going to the body at all. So I think if he just does one of those things during the fight, he wins the first fight. If he just does 1 out of 3 of those, uh, he didn't do all 3. And perhaps if he just reviews film or watches my video, he'll do all 3. Uh, I actually sparred somebody who sparred Margarito. Um, he showed me footage and shit. He's really good. He whooped the shit out of Margarito so badly that they actually asked him, because he's a southpaw. I should have mentioned that before. He's a left-handed fighter. They actually asked him in the sparring section to switch conventional to a right hand because he was whooping up on him. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Miguel Cotto switches southpaw in this fight. Let's keep in mind. Let's keep in mind that Miguel Cotto is a converted conventional fighter, which means that he's truly left-handed, like Oscar De La Hoya, but he's been forced, or maybe by choice, is fighting with his power hand in the lead, which means his left hand in front. Uh, you see him seldomly, he used to do it more back in the day, but he switches southpaw on you sometimes, and he feels kind of comfortable when he does it. I wouldn't be surprised if he looks at the Manny Pacquiao fight and says, "Oh, he's having some trouble with the angles of a southpaw," and he might end up switching against Margarito. And I think if he does switch, I think he can actually give him some problems. I see him landing the straight left all day, just like Manny was. Um, another thing, I think he's going to pace himself this time. I think he's going to have a sustained attack to the body. As we all know, Miguel Cotto's best punch is probably the left hook to the body. With Margarito's lack of defense, I don't find any reason why he wouldn't use that punch this time. He made a mistake in not doing so the first time. I don't think he's going to make the same mistake twice. He's going to go to the body and conserve a lot of his energy by not just throwing, you know, flurries of headshots. He's going to be going at a better pace, a balanced attack of head, body, body, head, and he's going to be able to last longer in this fight. In terms of Margarito, I feel like Margarito might have a cracked chin at this point. I mean, Shane Mosley almost knocked his fucking rat tail off with all those right hands, and Manny Pacquiao literally broke his face. So my question is he going to be coming into this fight with the same kind of a chin? Because, quite frankly, as many shots as he was taking from Miguel Cotto, I mean, he has a phenomenal chin back in the day. Uh, if his chin is not the same as it was a few years ago, he's going to have a problem coming in with the same kind of defense. I don't think that Margarito's improved defensively. Do you? Uh, no adjustment ability whatsoever. And I don't just mean like he's in a fight and can't make an adjustment. Oh no, I'm talking about from fight to fight, he doesn't make an adjustment. However you saw Margarito fight in his first fight, he's going to fight like this fight, okay? However he fought in the Shane Mosley fight, he's going to fight in this fight. However he fought in the Pacquiao fight, he's going to fight in this fight, okay? Antonio Margarito is truly one-dimensional. In fact, he's less than one-dimensional. He's half-dimensional. I mean, that's how basic he is. You can expect the same thing from him every single time. Uh, so, I mean, with that being said, the only thing that Margarito is going to do differently, perhaps, would be doing something more technically sound, which is a mistake. Again, I explained to you in my other video that I thought Manny Pacquiao fought a little bit too more technical than he should have, going up against a technician like Marquez. Well, clearly, Cotto has more technical skills than Margarito. It would be retarded for him to come out and, like he did with Pacquiao, throwing jabs and shit. Cotto's gonna pick him apart. He can't outthink Cotto. He can't go skill for skill with Cotto. He's gonna have to fight the exact same way he did to have a chance. The only problem with that is that I feel like Cotto is gonna make adjustments to that technically. Okay, I favor the thinker in this fight. Uh, there has to be, there's gonna most likely be adjustments made. Cotto has learned from that fight, uh, skillfully and willfully. I think that Cotto lost his fight when he was undefeated, and it's all about how an undefeated fighter reacts to having that first loss. And I mean, he got his ass whooped again, arguably by Clottey and Pacquiao, and he's bounced back pretty well in this 154 division. He looks a lot stronger. Uh, but I guess all in all, once you've gotten your ass whooped like that, the way he did against fucking Pacquiao and Margarito, there's not that fear of the unknown. I think he walks into this fight fearless, truly fearless. His heart's been through something that a lot of people haven't gone through. He's faced demons that a lot of people haven't had to face. His mentality in this fight is going to be different, in my opinion. Okay, it's either going to be he overcomes it, or he he has flashbacks and he bends. But I actually think that Cotto's a strong-willed person, and this is not something that I could really look at film at, but just in my opinion, the way his vibe tells me that he's uh, a man who's spiritually, or maybe not even spiritually, but maybe mentally stronger than what he was before. He doesn't seem defeated mentally by what's happened in the past. It looks like he's truly trying to move forward. Uh, and so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt with that. As for Margarito, you know, a man who felt like he had to use plaster in order to win fights, is now being stripped of that advantage. So I guess on the list of things that are going to be different on this fight, I guess the next one would be no plaster, which is significant but not too significant. Because in my opinion, I think Cotto still would have lost the first fight without the plaster. You know, perhaps it would have been a later stoppage, or Margarito would have caught up and you know, taken. It would have been a draw or maybe a split decision in his favor, depending on how you look at it. But mentally, not having those hand wraps, you have to ask yourself what effect that's going to have on Margarito, and how much more durability Cotto's going to have not being hit with some shit like that. So there you have it. I got Cotto by 11th round TKO stoppage. Um, yeah, Show Clem 15 signing out. Tebow.